Hi guys, Marian here. Welcome back to my channel. I just wanted to come on today and share with you a little bit about what's going on in Israel and how it's affecting me and my family, and to share some advice I have about talking to your children about what's going on, about anti-Semitism in general, and just having that conversation because I know so many of you are in the midst of that right now. Before we jump in, I just want to say that even being able to share this and decide whether or not you want to talk to your children about it and how to talk to them about it is, of course, an enormous privilege that our brothers and sisters in Israel don't have right now. And my heart absolutely goes out to anyone who is suffering right now, which I believe is all of us in some way, but especially to those who are in the midst of the warfare. I don't have the right words. I don't have enough words in any capacity to share how much we are praying for safety and security and peace and for healing for all the suffering. There's still so much uncertainty, so much grief, just so much. And obviously on my small little channel, I'm just sharing one small piece of that, which is how we're feeling and how we're talking to our children about it. So I just wanted to share that. I am sharing more day-to-day updates on my Instagram channel. If you want to follow me there, trying to again figure out like what I can share, what would be helpful, and also just kind of processing and grieving and going through everything myself. I also did want to share that I've received so many messages from people who let me know that their churches are praying for us and for Israel, and people who aren't Jewish who, you know, have us in their thoughts and prayers, and how much they support us and everything like that. So I just wanted to share that because I shared that over my Instagram, and people were, a lot of Jewish people were feeling, you know, alone and like that they were suffering in silence. But I want to share that I have felt so much love from the community at large and support at this time. So I just want to share a little bit of that too. Okay, so us personally, so of course most American Jewish families have either family or close friends in Israel. That's just kind of how it works. At the moment, I have extended family and of course have lots and lots of friends that are there. My close personal circle, thankfully, is safe at this time, but of course everyone is in danger. That's just the reality of the situation. And so it's a lot of anxiety and worry and checking in and waiting for updates and that sort of thing. And then of course through my extended circle, through our Jewish community and synagogue and friends, everyone knows someone who has been hurt or who has been killed. So there's just this sort of like wider circle of grief. The Jewish community is just really tight-knit and small in a lot of ways. So it's just inevitable, and we're just kind of like unfortunately waiting to see like those posts as names and things are coming through. So that's very excruciating and very difficult, and just so hard. And it truly is like everyone is just affected. I've also seen a lot of anxiety in my friends and family about safety concerns, and just everyone is so like our just day-to-day lives are in this weird imbalance of being like completely thrown off by what's going on, but also like having nothing to do besides continuing on with normal life. So that's been very strange. There's lots of community gatherings of support, lots of like prayer opportunities and times to come together and things like that. And then in the midst of that, it's like day-to-day life is continuing. So that is just weird, but also just the reality. The other thing I wanted to talk about is like how we're talking about things in front of our children. And one thing I always just remind myself of, or remind others of, is kids pick up on everything, and you think that they can't see what's on your phone or can't hear or aren't paying attention to the news, but just be really, really cautious if the TV is on in your house, or if you're, you know, scrolling through Instagram and things like that. They absolutely are picking up on those things. A lot of my friends are upset because their schools have been messaging things to the kids without them like knowing, and I think there's a desire to be more in control of the conversation. And again, that's a privilege that we have in the US, coming at this like from a place of safety and security, that we're able to manage those conversations. But I definitely encourage you to ask your children's teachers, if they're talking about it and what they're saying, so you can kind of parallel with that conversation. My kids are super young, and at the moment we've decided not to talk to them about it. My kids are really, really young. And so I think for now we're trying to shield their innocence and keep them from it. But I think that might, change with time depending on things. And at the moment their schools are not talking about it. So that's how we're kind of making that decision too. If they were talking about it at school, we would definitely be talking about it at home as well. I shared a post on my Instagram about how we talk about anti-Semitism in general, and I'll link it below. But basically my thoughts on it are that when your kids are really little, the things that you say to them, of course, are shaping their identity and how they connect with their faith for their whole life long. And I know when I was growing up, a lot of Judaism and the way Jewish tradition and religion is taught is with like this sense of guilt, right? Like, because of the Holocaust, you must continue living a Jewish life. And that theme is throughout like the songs that we sing and the way prayers are taught and the way tradition is taught. And I just like now in my adult life, to me, that's not a reason, enough of a good enough reason to do what I do every day. For me, it's about living a meaningful life, and for Judaism, adding meaning to my life. So I try as much as I can to not put that same sense of like guilt and shame on my kids, and like you're forced into this identity, and so you better do this to honor those that came before you. That sort of thing just doesn't jive with my parenting style. So in a time like this, I think it's also important to remember that the things you say to your kids about their identity really have lasting impacts. And the way we talk about anti-Semitism when things come up is we try to frame it that people in general are good, but some people have been taught to dislike others based on how they might look and what they might believe in and where they come from, and that's not okay. And unfortunately, those people have hateful thoughts in their heart, but we know better than that. We know to love each other. So that's kind of how I frame it. And I'll put more resources below if you're looking for like scripts and things like that to say. But I think it's also about meeting kids where they are, being open to their questions, answering truthfully without scaring them, and just being understanding and sympathetic, because they're hearing so much without context going on around them, and it's really, really hard to manage everything that they're hearing and all the conversations they're picking up on. So that's what we're doing here. I thank you so much in advance. I know you guys are all the most supportive and loving community, for all the thoughts and prayers at this time and messages of support. We just really, really appreciate it. It is a heartbreaking time, especially as we're hearing the news come out more and more about just how bad it is. And I think, in 2023, it's like you see things right away on Instagram and on Twitter, like real videos of the things. And when you hear about them, it's one thing, but when you like really see the videos, especially of the children suffering, it is very traumatizing to take in and very, very hard. So we're all struggling with that. I know you guys are too. So I'm sending a message of absolute love and support and prayers for a better future for us all. And thank you for watching this video. I hope it was helpful for you. I'll try to be around in the comments and share messages of support, and then of course on Instagram as well. I love you guys. I'm sending prayers for a better tomorrow, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.